Hey, everybody, before jumping into this week's episode, just want to call attention to a brand new ebook that we have that our team actually put together based on some of the podcasts that we've had with top producers. Each person in this ebook is going to reveal their most successful tips that are working for them in their business.
Yeah, you're going to want to check this out. If you want referrals, which we all want more referrals, this ebook literally outlines some of the best tips that I have heard. You're going to hear from people like Glenda Baker, Barb Betts, Dan Allison. All these people are top producers in their own craft, and they're sharing their secrets. So don't miss out on this ebook.
Yeah, to get that ebook and learn from these top producers that are taking action in their business, visit remindermedia.com/top producers. So all one word, it's remindermedia.com/top producers. And now this week's episode.
From Reminder Media, this is Stay Paid, a sales and marketing podcast on a mission to help you close more deals and retain more business. Hosted by the VP of Marketing, Josh Stake, and Reminder Media's president, Luke Akery. So get ready to hear the golden nuggets that will allow you to live a life of freedom tomorrow, but only if you take action today.
Welcome to another Silver Dollar episode of Stay Paid, the best sales and marketing tips of your week in 15 minutes or less. My name is Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Akery.
Kind of went back to that intro. We used to do that intro where we kind of introduce ourselves, then we stopped doing it for a little bit.
You started doing it the other day, and I was like, I guess he wants me to say my name.
I guess we're doing this again. I like to change things up frequently. I get bored if we do the same thing too many times. We have got a great podcast today. Look, we're talking about sales stats today. To grow your business, you have to know your business. And part of that is having a solid understanding of your industry statistics. Not only does this help keep your skills sharpened, but it helps direct your day-to-day tasks towards the most dollar productive activities that you can focus on. So to help you get on track to close more deals in the second half of 2021, we've pulled the 6 most important sales stats that you need to know.
That's what I believe. Yeah, I mean, there's so many sales stats out there, but I say these are the most important.
These are the most important. Yeah, Luke handpicked these sales stats for us today.
I have a list of hundreds and hundreds.
We're going to kind of frame this up into 3 different sections. So the first one we're going to talk about is prospecting, really being the key to sales. The next one being you won't close if you don't follow up. And then the last one going into this idea of referrals are still king. So I'm going to read some stats here focusing on this idea of prospecting. So HubSpot Research did this study. And I'll kind of frame it up with each one of these percentages that we're going to go over are companies that didn't achieve their sales goals, right? So these are companies that did not achieve their sales goals. Out of those companies, 72% of companies with less than 50 new ops per month did not achieve their sales goal. 15% of companies with 51 to 100 new ops did not achieve their sales goal. So much smaller percent there. You see it goes from 72% missed to 15% missed. And then the mind-blowing one, for companies that were generating 101 to 200 new ops per month, only 4% of those companies missed their sales goal. So what does that tell you? If you've got new leads coming in, you're prospecting, there's a significantly higher chance that you're going to hit those goals.
Yeah, I think the action item from this is pretty easy. It's, look, how many leads are you generating for your business? How many opportunities? It's more important than just a lead. How many opportunities are you getting into the funnel for your business every single month? And here's the problem that we face as business people all the time. We run to the operational activities. We run to the client services activities. And a lot of times we make the excuse in our mind that the client's the most important, so I got to service them, or the ops, I got to handle this contract thing, or I got to do this. And the reality is sales solves all pains. If you're missing your goal, you're not going to be able to service any client very long, right? Because you won't be in business anymore. And so you have to be generating opportunities in your business, and prospecting is the way to do it. What I recommend is 1 to 2 hours minimum a day. Give you an idea for our sales team. Our minimum requirements is you either have to do 200 calls a day or 4 hours on the phone.
Yeah.
200 calls a day or 4 hours on the phone. So for you...
Now, keeping in mind, that's their entire job, right? That is a job, right?
I'm giving you a break of 1 hour to 2 hours a day.
No, you're giving them a break.
But that's the key. Prospecting is key. The stats show it. If you want to be one of the companies that only has a 4% chance of missing your goal, generate 100 to 200.
Also tracking, like make sure that you're not missing the tracking in this step from a prospecting standpoint, because you have to know what is converting for you, what is working.
Yeah, that's a great point.
When I say converting, I mean converting all the way from the contacts that you're making, who's actually having conversations with you, the ads that you're running, the emails that you're sending, those referrals that you're requesting, what are actually converting to leads for you, and then ultimately converting to transactions, because that will drive your prospecting efforts and where you're spending your time.
And prospecting doesn't just have to be the phones, right? It can be social selling. There's some great stats. We don't have them on this one, but there's some great stats about social selling. We're going to get to referrals at the end. There's a lot of different ways to prospect, but the core here is that every day, do it. Every day, you're waking up and you need an hour to 2 hours of activity on your prospecting. And the reason why people don't prospect a lot of times is because it's hard, and things are hard when you're untrained. So the best way, right, to get trained is frequency creates greatness. So just do it over and over again, and you're going to get good. And then naturally start practicing every single day. So your prospecting becomes easier and easier and easier for you, because it's more like a game than it is something that's a pass or fail.
Well, that's why so many people we've had on the podcast say they do it the first thing in the morning. It's you said eat the frog on a past podcast. It's the thing you don't want to do. So do it first, get it over with. Otherwise you won't get to it.
Gamify it too. We had Eric Sue, like gamify your prospecting. Like prospecting is hard. Most people see it as a pass or fail. I either closed it or I didn't close it. Gamify it. Like you're playing a game that you have to do in order to win.
All right, so the next kind of section that we'll go over with some stats to back it up is you will not close if you don't follow up. So this stat comes from Gartner. It takes an average of 18 calls to actually connect with a buyer. This one is 80% of sales requires 5 follow-up calls, whereas 44% of salespeople give up after 1 follow-up call.
Wait, read that one more time to really sink in for the audience.
80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls, whereas almost half, 44% of salespeople are giving up after 1 follow-up call.
I want you to think of all the leads in your database right now, the names that know.
Oh, here comes the guilt trip.
Yeah, the names. I want that frustration, that guilt to push action in your life. The names that you should be following up with right now, that you're not following up with. Don't be in this statistic. Follow up is the key. We just talked about prospecting. Understand prospecting so hard. Why? Because just from phone calling, it's 18 times, according to this Gartner, whatever research, 18 times to get someone on the phone to actually
just to make contact.
Yeah, just to make contact. And then from there, you're going to have to then follow up 5 times in order to close 80% of the deals. So you have to commit to realizing that, hey, I'm going to have to step outside my comfort zone. Now, we're doing this beta test for Facebook ads with my brother and a couple other real estate agents. So shout out to all the real estate agents in that beta test. But one of the things that we've seen, and Steven got on the phone, so maybe we can have him come on the podcast and talk about this. But he got on the phones and he was doing things like he'd call the Facebook lead. They didn't answer. He'd call them right back. And they didn't answer. He'd call them back a 3rd time, triple dial them, and he'd get them on the phone and have a great conversation and get that person to a potential where they could be a lead for him in his business, because he's willing to push through the awkward in order to bring the value and the result. So you have to remind yourself, I have value. I know what I bring to the table. I can help these people, and push through that awkward to get there.
Yeah. Now here's why I think a lot of people don't do it. Number one, it is extra work, right? So it requires the discipline to carry it out. But number 2, you're thinking, oh, I'm being a bother, or I don't want to bother this person. Look at this stat from the buyer side. So 75%, this comes from Invesp, INVESP. 75% of online buyers want to receive between 2 to 4 phone calls before a company gives up. And then there's a smaller subset of that. 12% would like a company to try as many times as it takes to get a hold of them. So find the 12%.
Yeah.
At least do the 2 to 4 to get the 75%, the majority of them.
Do that. But it also portrays like you want a salesperson to really truly believe in what they are presenting to you, and activity, them pursuing you, makes it feel like they have something of great importance.
Yeah. And this is key for incoming or inbound leads.
Yes.
Right? If someone reached out for more information from you, they want you to try and get a hold of them, because they obviously show that initial
interest. Yeah, your Zillow leads, Realtor.com,
then,
Facebook leads, website leads.
Your job then is to kind of go through, and you go back and listen to our podcast that we did on Anatomy of a Sales Call, is to really kind of go through and figure out what is their intent, what are the contexts in which they're in, and that then gets you into your intro once you make that contact.
But if you're not following up, follow up. Stats show it.
The last section really is referrals still being the king. We talked about that a little bit. Consumers referred by a friend are 4 times more likely to buy. That's according to review42.com. 92% of consumers trust referrals from people that they know. And when referred by other customers, people have a 37% higher retention rate. So not only do you have a higher close rate there, but those people will stay longer. And we know that it costs a lot more to get a new client than it does to retain an existing one.
Yeah, out of all the sales stats, the reason why I wanted to put this in is because so often we treat referrals as a result versus an activity, like an intention. And I want to really drive home for people that referrals need to be an activity that you're going after. It needs to be an intentional mindset, not just something that you think is going to happen if you just do good service. There are so many things else that so many other things that you have to do in order to make sure you're getting referrals. Here's one of the core stats. 91% of people say they will refer, 11% of salespeople actually ask. Think about that for a second. You're thinking 91% say they'll actually refer, but only 11% ask. And if you ask, you have 92% trust a referral to make a decision in there. You have the other stat that it's worth 37% more to your business. So ask yourself right now, are you intentionally asking for referrals? Are you setting up a process in your sales system to get referrals? A lot of people disagree with me that you shouldn't have to ask for a referral, that you should just get referrals. I totally disagree with that. I think there's a science to where you have to ask. You plant the seed, you're watering that seed, you're teaching that person what you need. You're rewarding that as it goes to almost train them that that's what you want. So there's a lot that goes into it, but the key is focus on referrals. I think there's another stat that, 67% of business comes from, I forget if I put that in the chat.
Yeah, referrals account for 65% of companies' new deals.
So 65% of companies' new deals from referrals.
Yep.
In real estate specifically, according to NAR's buyer and seller profile trend. So for all my real estate agents, 67% of listings
67%
came from referrals and repeat business. So that relationship style business. The key of that stat right there is I want to tell you that the majority of your business is going to come from referrals. So invest that type of time, energy, and money. Invest 65% of your money, your time, your energy into getting referrals.
So there you go. There's the 6. We may have done 7 or 8. I don't remember how many statistics we ended up.
Who knows?
Gabriel will have to fact check that. We might be updating the title. But there's the sales statistics that you have to know this year in order to close more deals. And really from the perspective of if you're implementing referral marketing,
it drives action.
Retain more business from that perspective. And ultimately, set your daily goals and your metrics for what you need to accomplish. So thank you so much for listening. You can head on over to staypaidpodcast.com for the show notes and all of the resources that we mentioned here in this video. If you're looking for ways to support the show, we would really appreciate it. First way is to head on over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, as well as a comment. Let us know what you would like to hear about this. Maybe there's a guest, maybe a specific topic you want us to talk on. You can also head over to YouTube and find our videos there and comment on this one. In terms of, hey, are you making the phone calls? Are you doing the prospecting? Are you asking for the referrals? And let us know what else you'd like to see an episode on. And the best way to help out the show is to tell a friend and share on your social media. Luke, did you hear that the man who invented Velcro died? RIP. I don't even buy anything made with Velcro anymore because it's a total ripoff. It's just... It's not a good deal. If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, please email us at podcast@remindermedia.com or find us on Instagram. We're at Stay Paid Podcast. Head on over there. Watch our dad jokes video. Comment if you want to keep hearing them or if they're getting old at this point.
No, they're not getting old. They're not getting old.
Yeah.
I used to be the biggest hater when it came to dad jokes. And I feel like either your jokes have gotten better or my sense of humor has
your
changed
sense of humor
completely.
That's it. Or just kind of, moving your sense of humor.
It's consistency over time,
to the corny.
people. Consistency.
All right. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, and I'm Luke Acree. And I think you could take any of these stats, these main bullet points, and add them as an action item. But the one I really, really want to drive home for you is there's gold in your database right now, and you need to be asking for referrals. So make it a point to call people in your database and ask them for a referral. See the power of that. Just simply calling and asking for a referral. Even if they don't have one, you're going to plant the seed of what you're looking for, and you can teach them of what a good referral would be for you and how you can help people with that. So do that. Remember, the difference between top producers and mediocre producers is they take action. Take action on that today.